Hey guys, this is John with the Alpha Channel Update here in Los Angeles for Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. And I'm going to start off reminding you guys that I have 26 hours of amazing science fiction fantasy audiobooks out here on YouTube for you to listen to. Our superhero ninja girl, ninja babysitter Ashley Fox is a teenager coming up in Los Angeles in the future, an anti-gravity future where her father has invented some things that the government decides they would be better off owning than him. So they go after him and his family, and Ashley and her little brother have to go on the run. That's free for you guys here on YouTube to check out. You can also download the ebooks free from Smashwords or buy the hard copies from Amazon if you want. We have also a comic book, Ashley Fox Ninja Babysitter, The Last Valkyrie, where she has to rescue a bunch of kids who are being Pizzagated, kidnapped by a Talmudic cabal of Satan worshippers. The synagogue of Satan, Herod and Salome, are not in this, but maybe they will be. They're pretty evil. So this is out here for you guys, and as you can tell from how I'm starting this, I'm going to get political today. But I'm going to do that after we go through Gray number 4. So if you want to hear me set my own life on fire, stick around until this is over. This is Gray number 4 by Yoshihisa Tagami. I love this story. It has a lot of parallels for what's going on in our world today. As you can see, here's a beautiful, what was a beautiful urban area destroyed by chaos. It's not the same kind of chaos we're experiencing, homeless drug addicts, but this is Gray. Gray is also known as Gray Death. He's a trooper from town 303. And this is a future where the towns are pitted against each other. So unlike high school sports, they actually fight each other and kill each other for credits. Here, Gray and Nova have gone looking for their instructor, Red, who is missing. His vehicle was attacked by scavengers, and then he was kidnapped while Cricket was killed. So Gray and Nova are standing in front of all of these bots. Now, they don't know if they have humans in them or not. This is very Robotech-ish, so they may have people inside them. And Gray draws his weapon and fires, and they quickly understand that they're not even there for them. These bots are there for the actual shrine itself. This is a town called Shidara, and so Shidara has its own defenses that come out and engage these massive bots. Gray and Nova have never seen anything like this. In their village, the fights are carried out on jeeps and motorcycles, and with handguns or plasma guns and grenades. They do not have this level of weaponry. Gray and Nova managed to get themselves out of the way. The fight's not really about them, so no one's targeting them. But they are now trying to figure out where they are and what's going on and stay out of the fray. And they quickly discover that none of this is about them, and they can, of course, take advantage of that. They do get cornered by a couple of these bots called ohms. These are the white ones, the white triangular head or like sort of alien head ones. And these are run by troopers like Gray and Nova. And after a little bit more drama, they discover that they, let's see how soon this happens here. There's a lot of fighting in this book. I love it. It takes its time. I do wonder if this volume was translated by someone different than the first 3. The dialogue seems a little snappier, a little more American, a little more sarcastic than traditional Japanese dialogue, the way the first 3 were. The way the first 3 had a level of respect and common decency that this book seems to be lacking. But that's just in the dialogue. What they do find out is that the Ohm troopers mistake them for their comrades and ask them if they've lost their machines and tell them to go back to the treasury and get new ones. So Gray and Nova have been mistakenly accepted into the home team, the temple team, fighting the big sort of bear-looking robots. And they make their way toward the treasury to get ohms of their own. And here they are. They're in here. They've made it, and they're in 2 new bots. One of the guards heard Nova call Gray, and that his ears perked up, which is interesting because this plays part later on. So now here Gray and Nova engage in the fight to help take out the bears. I'm just going to call them the bears for right now. I don't remember what their names were. I think they called them bots. But they look like giant cuddly teddy bears, only made of armor and with guns. And, I was looking through some of my drawings. I actually have some armored bots who look a little bit like those. I wonder if it was inspired by this. I've watched the anime so many times. It must have been, Clearly a lot of the X-Men stuff has been inspired by this Japanese. The new Sentinels in Days of Future Past, I was watching that last night. And the Sentinels in the future in their giant floating sort of building ships, anti-gravity ships, they're clearly the same sort of thing. Here, so they're also looking for Red, and Red was supposed to be in this building, and it exploded. And they find another fellow, Lee, who explains to them that Red went with the Guji, who are like priests of this area. They haven't found him yet. I'm just going to show off this action for a second. This is so good. The action lines really do pack a lot of punch. It saves this guy from drawing a lot of backgrounds and clouds and sky. I think he should have done more of it, but it's hard to complain when you have pages like this. God, what I would love to get a hold of some of these original pages to frame on the wall, I don't have a lot of stuff hung up, but that would be nice. So Gray and Nova are still continuing their search for Red, and they come across this fella here, Lee. Lee is a new exposition character because Nova doesn't know anything about what's going on, neither does Gray, but Lee explains what's happened here. He gives the name Shadara as the town. And actually Shadara was the name of one of the guys, the first resistance fighters in this town. I'm going to have to take a second to explain this. So this town, their big mama, actually that's coming up. I'll just explain it up here. But look at these pages. So this is halfway through the book, not a single ad. Right? Marvel's like half ads. 17 pages of comics and probably at least 10 pages of ads. It's a third. 9 to 10 pages is a third. You're telling me the cover price was didn't cover the cost that you had to sell 10 pages of ads? That's just Jewish greed. Marvel is run by Jews, and Jews are the greediest fuckers on the planet. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The last couple days I've been quiet after the Trump assassination attempt, but not today. Today I'm going to run my mouth and probably get my channel shut down. Right now I'm locked out of Twitter for a week, and I've got 3 or 4 ghost accounts on. I've had 2 ghost accounts on YouTube completely shuttered. I've got a couple that can't comment for a day. My channel on YouTube can't comment for a day because I got into a Neil Oliver video this morning where he was talking about evil, about the evil people run the planet, and I kept saying they're Jews, because they are. They're ontologically evil, and I saw a Jew with his profile on Twitter that said, people who oppose us are ontologically evil and therefore anything we do to them is good. And I'm going to adopt that same strategy in dealing with you. You are ontologically evil and therefore anything we do to you is good. How do you like it? So here, Gray and Nova and Lee are discussing what's happened, and they're talking about how this town's Big Mama, which is the central computer, basically governing system, broke down and the resistance fighters took over. Actually, what happened was when a bunch of the troopers were out in the field when the town broke down and everyone else died, and they came back and took over. Now, this guy Lee has heard of Gray. He's heard of Gray Death. Gray has made quite a name for himself with a few of his campaigns, completely taking out, enemy squads or towns or whatever. And Gray's also wounded. Nova had to bandage up his eye. Little by little, Gray keeps losing pieces of himself until towards the end he's half robot. And it's really amazing. It's a great story. Let's see here. So Yeah, here they're looking for supplies, they're looking for a way out. Nova really wants to take a shower and find some clean clothes. And they do come across, I guess here's one more battle bot. They do come across a prototype ohm that they are going to take to get out of here. Meanwhile, Nova has gone off to find the shower, or Nova goes off to find the shower. I should hold this up a little bit longer. I know this is really sort of backwards way of making videos, but I broke my camera skateboarding. I've got a Shure SM7B that I could use for audio, but come on, there's only 10 of you guys watching. So here's the prototype ohm, and they need a battery. So Lee sends Gray off to find a battery while he's going to check it out and make sure it's powered up. Nova, meanwhile, goes to find a shower, and I guess it's not gone yet. They're still talking about stuff. I'm summarizing a lot, but the plan is to go find Red. He's been taken to move to some other location. Red was their instructor. Gray feels like he owes him everything, so he's going to bail him out. Really, Red being missing is the plot device for the author to explore this world. He's slowly doing world building. So basically all these little towns, again, we're seeing a massive disparity in armament. So this town, which had failed, had armament that Gray and Nova had never come across. And here they are being attacked again. A swarm is coming in, so they have to defend themselves and get into this new prototype. And let's see here, some more action. And Lee gets them into the, look at this, this looks like a teddy bear, doesn't it? It looks like Tetsuo's teddy bear in Akira, almost, when he becomes that giant ruthless teddy bear. So here they are, fighting. I'm in such a hurry to show this off and then take it down again and, keep moving the plot along. It's worth reading, but these pages is mostly just action, right? Like, this is almost like an early Image comic book, like Youngblood or, Wildcats or something. Gray now has his visual finder over his bandaged eye. Makes him a little bit more cyborg. It's not necessarily patched into the optic nerve, but all they have to do is fight their way out of this. Just a couple more pages and they'll be free to go find Red. But they take a direct hit. And that is the end of episode 4, parts 1 and 2 of Gray. And yeah, that's it. So Gray number 4, Yoshihisa Tagami. And give me just 1 second, guys. So before I get into my political diatribe, we are going to do the Wildwood Tarot for today. This is Hearn, the Horned God, on the box cover. Here's the Hooded Man, which is the book. And today's card is actually relatively important. The 10 of Arrows instruction. This is the mentor card, like Red in Gray. Gray is doing everything to rescue his mentor. And this leads me to what I want to talk about. I was listening to Neil Oliver this morning. He's an English broadcaster, and he's probably only a few days away from getting himself canceled, but he can't bring himself to say the word Jew, which is the problem. It's not communism. China and Russia's communism was led by Jews. American communism was led by Jews. This is divide to conquer. And feminism, it was led by Jews. I just watched, you're going to laugh, I just watched Mary Poppins again the other night. There's some great stuff to draw in there. Dick Van Dyke is a tremendous character. And I noticed that there was even a wedge in that movie. Mary Poppins, you could say, is the first girl boss, but she's family focused. And in that movie, it's funny too, like in a treasure movie, the main character never gets the treasure. Treasure of Sierra Madre, everyone ends up dead, I believe, but 9 times out of 10, when there's a treasure movie or a bank robbery movie, the main characters rarely get away with it. I think The Great Train Robbery is Sean Connery is one of the only ones where they got away with it. I think Donald Sutherland may have been in that too. But in Mary Poppins, Mary doesn't get the treasure being the family, and the wife, Mrs. Banks, is all into votes for women. Now, she didn't realize that the votes for women were really about turning women into a tax class, because they can't tax them if they're working at home. But if they get them votes and they get them divorced, they'll have to get jobs. And now you have a bunch of old cat ladies who are miserable. Whereas me, I'm single and I'm happier than I've ever been. I really am. Every relationship I've ever had it's been a hostage negotiation. Every conversation is a hostage negotiation with myself as the hostage and the girl constantly threatening to be pissy or bitchy or upset in your presence, and you have to tolerate it. And it's not worth it. And it's funny because this morning I saw, for the first time, a white woman getting bashed for being white. And it's starting to happen. And I'm glad, because you women have been the thin end of the wedge destroying white culture. You want it all. You're all mob wives. You and all the minorities in this country are mob wives stealing from white men. And that's the truth of it. You're all guilty and you know it, and you're getting just enough of an advantage that you think it will go unnoticed and it won't really hurt us. And your whole civilization's been destroyed by doing it. So what are you going to do now? Look at Jewish divorce lawyers, right? You know who you are. We know who you are. So yeah, it was really fascinating to see this girl all upset, getting bashed for being white. And I saw it a few years ago with this other girl, Turtleneck Girl, who was talking about being a young woman in society, and she got attacked for what was called pretty privilege. And that was the first time I heard that, but that sounds like something a black woman would say to a white woman, because black women are jealous. And let's face it, if you could take a time machine or hit a button to erase slavery, but all the blacks would have to go back to Africa, not one of them would hit that fucking button. Not one of them. They love being victims because it means they don't have to work. And they're worthless at work because they're incompetent, largely. They have a talented tenth, it's very few of them. They can't work. We Irish were better slaves than any of y'all ever were. Y'all are garbage and you know it, and we don't need you. We built civilization without you. There's not one black person in Mary Poppins. Didn't even notice. No black people in Game of Thrones, and you wonder why that show was a hit. So, what are you going to do now? Standard deviation 15%. It's really just about disrespect. For me, as far as I'm concerned, it's funny about disrespect. All these skateboards behind me. The other day, being a white guy, when I'm out alone, I'm pretty accustomed to people making comments. Black guys, Mexican guys, make some little snide comments as I walk by here or there. I once had one guy, I was out getting a sandwich, and some guy waited to get into a car to call me a derogatory slur that he never would have said to my face, and then they drove away. The night before last, I was out on my skateboard. I park pretty far away from home, so I have to skate every day, even if it's just out to the car. And there was a guy waiting in a car, his friend had come along and gotten in, and as I skated by, they said something. I immediately got off the board and turned around and said, "What? What? Oh, I didn't say nothing. Good. Good. Pussies, come fight me any fucking time. I want to fight the whole world. I really do. I can't wait to see a civil race war. You're going to have to turn out the power to get it. But I would love to see this country torn apart because, you know what? White people are going to be the ones who remain. I don't care about any of you. I am counting the days until any drama. I'm so ready. Come get some. And you know what? When it comes to the barrier to entry, like drawing, writing, skating, I don't care what race you are. If you're good, I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Because here's one thing I have noticed. Disciplined and competent people aren't dickheads, right? So I can get along with anyone unless you're a miserable, self-hating fuck, in which case you're going to talk shit to me and I'm going to turn it right back around on you. But if you're a disciplined, accomplished person, jiu-jitsu guys aren't going out and picking fights with people because they know what it's about. I'm not going out and picking fights with people. I'm just waiting for one of you idiots to step up. So that's my diatribe for today. Jews are ontologically evil. Boycott, divest, sanction, and ghost them. Drive them out of your lives and everything will be fine again. J.D. Vance and Trump are both Zionists. So as far as I'm concerned, they're worthless. I don't care about Israel and Gaza. The entire Middle East can burn. Islam is just as garbage as Jews. They genitally mutilate women, whereas Jews genitally mutilate men. I don't want to have anything to do with any of you. You're all garbage people. No one needs you. White people certainly don't need you. Asians don't need you. Y'all can just die for all we care. See ya.